Have you ever wondered why a woman who isn't truly interested in you acts the way she does? Why she might give you just enough attention to keep you around, yet never enough to make you feel secure? Today, we're not only breaking down the 7 unmistakable signs that a woman is not into you, but we're also going to connect these behaviors to the deeper philosophy of Agnes Callard. Callard reminds us that philosophy isn't about abstract theories locked in books. It's about facing ourselves honestly. She argues that real growth comes when we confront the truth we'd rather avoid. And in relationships, the hardest truth for a man to face is this: sometimes she's simply not interested, no matter how much you want her to be. This is where men often make their biggest mistake. They ignore the signals. They chase harder. They invest more. They start believing that persistence will turn indifference into affection. But let me tell you something. Indifference cannot be transformed into love by force. If anything, the more you try to prove yourself, the more you confirm her disinterest. The very first sign that a woman is not interested in you is the imbalance of energy. Relationships thrive on reciprocity. If you call, she calls back. If you plan, she plans too. But when a woman is disinterested, you'll notice an unmistakable pattern. Your energy is always higher, and hers is always lower. You text first. She replies hours later. You make plans, she cancels at the last minute. You suggest meeting, she suddenly becomes too busy. At first, you might excuse it. You might tell yourself she has a lot going on. But deep down, you know the truth. If she truly wanted to, nothing would stop her. Agnes Callard teaches that human beings aspire toward what they find valuable. Our actions always reveal our real priorities, no matter what words we use. If she says she likes you but consistently makes no effort to engage with you, then her aspiration is directed elsewhere. She may want attention, validation, or just someone to fill her boredom, but she does not aspire to build something meaningful with you. And here's the harsh truth. Chasing her harder won't change this imbalance. In fact, the more you pour in, the more unattractive you become. Because attraction isn't built on pity, it's built on desire. If she doesn't have that natural inclination to invest in you, then no amount of effort on your part will spark it. So what should you do? You must stop. You must pull back. You must recognize that the energy exchange is one-sided and understand that dignity demands balance. Callard would say this is the moment of intellectual honesty, when you stop telling yourself stories and start confronting the facts. A woman who truly wants you will show up for you. If she doesn't, that's all the answer you need. Part 2. She avoids depth. The second sign is her avoidance of emotional depth. A woman who is not interested will keep every conversation surface level. She'll talk about the weather, her day at work, random stories, but she will never open up about her fears, her dreams, or her inner life. Why? Because vulnerability is reserved for those she trusts and values. And if you never see that side of her, it's because she doesn't feel that connection with you. Agnes Callard emphasizes that relationships, whether in philosophy or in love, are journeys of transformation. They require a willingness to reveal oneself, to step into uncomfortable truths, and to aspire toward something greater. If she's unwilling to go deeper with you, then she does not see you as part of her transformative journey. Notice how she reacts when you try to push the conversation toward meaning. Do you ask her about her passions and she quickly changes the subject? Do you try to share something vulnerable and she responds with indifference? That avoidance is not accidental. It's a protective shield, a way to keep you at arm's length while still keeping you around for convenience. Think about this. When a woman truly desires you, she will crave depth. She'll want to know your thoughts, your values, your struggles. She'll ask questions that show she's invested in understanding you, but when she's not interested, she will shut the door to intimacy before it even begins. And here's the trap many men fall into. They think they can unlock her with more patience, more kindness, or more persistence. But let me make it clear. You cannot force someone to desire depth with you. Callard would call this a failure of aspiration. She isn't moving toward you because you're not the vision she wants to pursue. And the longer you ignore this, the more you betray your own worth. The lesson is simple. If she avoids depth, she's avoiding you. And no amount of waiting will change that truth. Part 3. She keeps you in the gray zone. One of the most frustrating signs that a woman is not interested in you is her tendency to keep you in the gray zone. This is when she neither rejects you outright nor commits to you fully. Instead, she leaves you hanging, just close enough to hope, but far enough to never be satisfied. She'll text you back, but only after long delays. She'll agree to plans, but cancel at the last minute. She'll flirt enough to keep your attention, but when you try to move things forward, she suddenly becomes distant. This is not love. This is control. It is the art of stringing someone along without giving them what they really want. Agnes Callard has a striking idea about aspiration, that true aspiration is about movement toward something we find meaningful. When someone aspires toward you, they naturally seek clarity. They want things defined. They want to know where they stand because uncertainty cannot satisfy genuine desire. So when a woman keeps you in the gray zone, she is not aspiring toward you. She is keeping you around as an option. And here is the hard truth. You are not her priority. You are her placeholder. Men often fall into the trap of mistaking the gray zone for progress. They think, at least she hasn't said no yet, so maybe I still have a chance. But what they fail to realize is that indecision is a decision. Refusing to commit to you is the same as saying you are not what she truly wants. And here's where Callard's philosophy becomes brutally relevant. She teaches that growth requires honesty about our aspirations. You cannot keep aspiring toward someone who refuses to aspire towards you. If she keeps you stuck in limbo, you must have the courage to step out of it. Because if you don't, you'll waste months, even years, trapped in her indecision. So remember, clarity is love, ambiguity is rejection. If she keeps you in the gray zone, she's already made her choice. Part 4. She shows interest in others, but not in you. Another unmistakable sign of disinterest is when her energy flows easily toward other men, but remains cold toward you. Pay attention. Does she light up when someone else enters the room but stay indifferent when you're around? Does she laugh harder, talk more, and show more effort with others than with you? This difference is not random. It's revealing. Attraction is visible in behavior. You don't need her words, you just need to watch her actions. Agnes Callard's philosophy of value aspiration reminds us that people naturally move toward what they find meaningful. If she's choosing to invest her time and energy into others while neglecting you, then her aspiration is clearly directed away from you. This doesn't mean you're worthless. It means you're not her choice. And that distinction is critical. Many men take this personally. They think, if she prefers someone else, then I must not be good enough. But this is a mistake. Attraction is not always logical. It's not always about who is objectively better. It's about alignment, chemistry, timing. But whether it's logical or not, the truth remains. If she gives others the attention she denies you, then she is telling you where her heart is. Think about it. If she's capable of giving energy to other people, then clearly she has the capacity. She just doesn't want to give it to you. That is your answer. And here's where philosophy can save you. Callard emphasizes that facing painful truths is the beginning of growth. It hurts to admit that she doesn't choose you, but it's liberating, too. Because once you stop chasing someone who doesn't value you, you free yourself to pursue someone who does. So never ignore the comparison. If she's interested in others but cold with you, then her actions are already louder than her words. Part 5. She doesn't respect your time. The fifth sign is subtle but devastating. She does not respect your time. She cancels plans last minute. She keeps you waiting. She forgets commitments. She treats your schedule as if it has no value. Respect is the foundation of attraction. A woman who truly desires you will not treat your time carelessly because she understands that time is life. But when she doesn't see you as important, your time becomes disposable in her eyes. Agnes Callard often discusses the concept of becoming, that we are always in the process of shaping who we are by what we value. If you continue to allow someone to disrespect your time, you are shaping yourself into a man who accepts disrespect. You're teaching her and yourself that your energy and presence are not valuable. This is why tolerating her disregard is so dangerous. The more you let her cancel, postpone, or neglect your presence, the more she will see you as background noise. And once a woman sees you as background noise, attraction is dead. Here's the deeper problem. Many men are afraid to set boundaries because they think it will push her away. But if setting a boundary makes her leave, then she was never truly invested to begin with. Boundaries do not scare off the right woman. They reveal the wrong one. So remember this. When she disrespects your time, she is disrespecting your value. And Agnes Callard would remind us that growth begins when we stop lying to ourselves. Stop telling yourself she's just busy when she clearly isn't. Stop believing that excuses equal interest. The truth is simple. A woman who values you will value your time. If she doesn't, then you have your answer. Part 6. She doesn't include you in her future. A powerful sign that a woman is not interested is the way she speaks or doesn't speak about the future. Listen carefully to how she frames her plans. Does she talk about vacations, goals, career moves, and dreams without ever placing you in the picture? Does she say, "I want to travel here one day," or "I see myself living in that city," but never once imagines you there with her? That's not an accident. That's clarity. When a woman truly desires you, she naturally weaves you into her vision. She'll say things like, "We should go there together," or "I wonder what our life could look like in a few years." These are subtle cues that she sees you as part of her journey. But if she never does this, then she is silently telling you that her future does not involve you. Agnes Callard's philosophy of aspiration highlights this perfectly. She explains that aspiration is not simply about what we want now, it's about the kind of person we're striving to become. If she doesn't place you in her imagined future, it's because you are not part of the transformation she seeks. She's moving forward, but not with you. Many men ignore this because they're focused on the present. They think, as long as she's still here today, that's enough. But that is self-deception, because the present is always a stepping stone toward the future. If she doesn't envision you tomorrow, then she's only tolerating you today, and sooner or later, that tolerance will expire. So pay attention to how she talks about what's ahead. If you're absent from her vision, it's because she has already excluded you in her heart. Part 7. Her words and actions don't align. The final and perhaps most telling sign is the discrepancy between her words and actions. She may say, "I like you," or "I care about you." But if her actions consistently contradict those words, then her words mean nothing. True interest is always proven by behavior. If she claims she wants to see you but never makes the effort, if she promises to call but doesn't, if she says you're important but constantly prioritizes others, then her actions are screaming the truth she refuses to admit. Agnes Callard insists that philosophy is about facing contradictions, and in relationships, the biggest contradiction is between what someone says and what they do. Callard would challenge us to stop being blinded by pretty words and instead look at the reality of behavior. This is where men often break themselves. They cling to her words because words are easier to believe than reality. They want to believe the sweet promises, even when her behavior betrays them. But if you live in that illusion, you will waste years waiting for actions that never come. The truth is simple. Consistency is the currency of interest. If she cannot align her words with her actions, then she is not truly invested in you. Ending. Choose clarity over illusion. So let's recap. A woman who is not interested in you will show it through 7 clear signs. Her energy doesn't match yours. She avoids depth. She keeps you in the gray zone. She shows interest in others, but not in you. She doesn't respect your time. She doesn't include you in her future. Her words and actions don't align. Each of these is painful to recognize, but each is also liberating. Because once you see them, you no longer have to live in confusion. Agnes Callard teaches us that real growth begins when we confront the truths we don't want to face. It hurts to accept that she doesn't desire you, but it's better than living in denial. By facing the truth, you give yourself the chance to redirect your time, energy, and love towards someone who truly values you. So here's the final message. Stop chasing women who show you indifference. Stop investing in those who keep you as an option. And stop believing words that actions contradict. Your dignity, your energy, and your future are far too valuable to waste. The woman who truly desires you will never leave you confused. She will show you through her effort, her presence, and her consistency. Until you find that, walk away with strength. Because in the end, rejection is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your freedom.